Australia remembers her war dead, Anzac Day. The day on which the Australian troops first went into action in the First World War. Those who worked at this place suffered at the hands of their guards. All were beaten, many severely. Some with permanent effect, some were killed. But the death toll at this place and along the railway tells us more about the conditions in which the men lived and worked, the inadequate diet and the presence of disease. Dysentery, malaria, tropical ulcers, and above all, cholera took a fearful toll. 30% of Australians held prisoner by the Japanese died in captivity.
No chap that was there died on his own. He always had somebody beside him. You talk to him, you do everything you could for him, even though you knew you couldn't do any more for him, but you talk to try and comfort him and everything like that. You'll be right, mate, don't worry about it, you'll be right, you know. Most probably they knew themselves they weren't going to be right. But you know, we'll be doing this, we'll be doing that when we go home.
Most of the work done at this place was done with hand tools. Hellfire Pass was cut and blasted through the solid rock by men with hammers and spikes. Two-man teams, one with the heavy hammer, the other rotating the metal drill in the rock until a hole large enough to contain a dynamite charge had been gouged out.
Ray said, let the hammer do the work. And I would swing the hammer most of the day, and Harry would use the skill of getting it through the rock. And he would also say, Tom, don't rush yourself, take your time, play it easy. We're getting dark. It's a mining term. That was the contract you had to do, and then you could go back.
And the work they did at this place, day and night, was often in the worst possible conditions. The men had to walk to the worksite, perhaps several steep kilometres from their camp. And in the wet season, for months, that was dangerous and it was unhealthy.
So it rained for over 100 days and the place was awash.
The clothes in which the prisoners were captured soon rotted and their boots fell apart.
For hours I spent 150 days without boots, just getting around on bare feet.
Mainly barefoot and with improvised loincloths, they lived on little more than poor quality rice, and their heroic doctors did what they could with virtually no supplies.
I happened to be on the saw. I had a bucket of boiling water there. They put the saw in the bucket of boiling water. Half a dozen fellas were holding this fella down, cut his leg off, and put the saw in the bucket of water and washed it. I took it back to the bamboos.
That is the story of this place. It is the story that has been told here in the Interpretive Centre. If you choose, you can walk through Connew Cutting, Hellfire Pass. The rails have long since been removed, but the cutting, the rock faces, are as the prisoners made them and knew them and left them. If you choose to walk through the cutting, you walk where they walked and worked and lived and died.
We started work on Hellfire Pass on Anzac Day 1943, and we worked right through until it was finished. It was all solid rock. We had to blow it out, dynamite, and then what was there, we had to push it over the bank.
For years, this place lay hidden by the jungle. But it was identified afresh in the 1980s, and since then, with the support of the Australian government, has been restored as a place of memory and reflection. The Hellfire Pass walking trail is in sections. You can choose the length of walk that suits you best. After you leave this centre, it will take about 1 hour to walk to the memorial and back. The end of the trail is at the Hintop Road, almost 2.5 kilometres from the centre, and you should allow 3 hours to walk there and return to the centre. An audio tour is available.